They didn't arrive with monsters. They didn't crawl out of the ground. They didn't announce themselves. They came quietly. On the breath of strangers, on the fur of rats, in glasses of water, in a kiss goodbye. Throughout human history, wars have ended, empires have fallen, kings have been buried and forgotten, but plagues never left. So this season 2, we're not going to focus on ghost stories, possessions, true crime, or anything like that. We're going to focus on plagues. More specifically, the deadliest plagues in human history. Tonight's episode is just going to be a rundown of the 7 deadliest plagues. Now, I'm going to post this podcast on Spotify. If you're listening on Spotify, you can catch season 1 on my YouTube channel. But let's begin season 2. Long before we feared the dark, we feared coughs, we feared fevers, and we feared rashes. Why do you think rashy or holes in your skin, that gives you kind of a sense of fear, a sense of weirded out? Why do you think when you hear someone vomiting, it makes you want to puke? Where do you think that fear came from? It came from a history of plagues. So what better plague to start with than the Black Death? In the year 1347, ships docked in the port of Sicily. The sailors were either dead or dying. Their skin was blotched black. Their bodies burned, but not with fire, with a fever. Their breath came and gasped, thick with blood from their lungs. Within days, the docks emptied. Within weeks, Europe began to die. This was Yersinia pestis, the bacteria we know that caused the Black Death. But the people of the 14th century didn't know what bacteria was. They didn't know it existed. They only knew this: you could wake up healthy and be dead by nightfall. Entire villages vanished. Priests refused last rites. Doctors fled cities. Some towns sealed their gates and let their neighbors rot outside the walls. Bodies stacked so high that graves collapsed. It's estimated 75 to 200 million people died. That was up to half of Europe's population then. Let that sink in now. Half. This wasn't just a disease. It literally rewrote society. Labor shortages, religious faith shattered, people whipped themselves in the street, believing pain might save them. Others blamed outsiders. People were massacred, and the sick, they were burned. Fear spread faster than the plague itself. And the worst part, The Black Death never truly went away. It still exists till this day. There are still cases of it till this day. Will it ever return to plague humanity? Plague number 2 on this list, the Justinian Plague. Nearly 800 years before the Black Death, another shadow swept across the world. In 541 AD, during the reign of Emperor Justinian, a mysterious illness erupted in Constantinople. Victims collapsed mid-sentence. Fevers raged. Hallucinations took hold. This too was bubonic plague, but history didn't yet have a name for it. At its peak, 5,000 people died per day in the capital. Some estimated that 30 to 50 million deaths worldwide. That was nearly half of the global population at the time. Mass graves overflowed, bodies were dumped into the sea. The empires weakened, territories were lost, history changed course forever. An empire didn't fall because of an army. It fell because of a cough. The third plague on our list is smallpox, but not smallpox in Europe. Smallpox in the New World. When Europe arrived in the Americas, they didn't come alone. They brought smallpox. Indigenous populations had no immunity, no antibodies, no defense. That sounds horrible. It also sounds very similar. Entire civilizations collapsed without a single battle. In some regions, up to 90% of the population died. The Aztec Empire fell, not just to steel, but to fever and blisters. Smallpox caused horrific lesions, blindness, and internal bleeding. Children died in their mother's arms. Now, it's estimated 25 to 56 million people died. This was not intentional genocide by disease, but it was unstoppable. By the time symptoms appeared, it was already too late. Plague number 4, the Spanish flu. In 1918, as World War I ended, another enemy emerged. This one moved fast. Actually, it moved extremely fast. The Spanish flu infected nearly 1/3 of the global population. Unlike most flu strands, it killed the young and the healthy. Soldiers collapsed in trenches. Lungs filled with fluid. Skin turned blue from lack of oxygen. Some died within 24 hours of their symptoms. Cities shut down. Mass graves were dug. And an estimated 50 to 100 million people died. That's more than both world wars combined. And yet, most people have never heard its full story. Plague number 5. The third plague pandemic. In the late 1800s, the plague returned. Again, Originating in China, it spread globally via trade routes. India was devastated. Entire districts were abandoned. Quarantines sparked riots. Colonial powers imposed brutal containment measures. Over 12 million deaths occurred, mostly in India. This outbreak proved something chilling. Modern societies didn't stop plagues. It only helped them travel faster. Plague number 6. In the late 20th century, a new plague emerged. Slower, quieter, and deeply misunderstood. This plague is HIV or AIDS. It doesn't kill overnight. It waited. It strips the immune system bare. Entire communities were erased while governments hesitated. Fear bred stigma. Stigma bred silence, and silence, it led to death. Since its discovery, 27 to 47 million people have died. This plague didn't look like the past ones, but its impact was just as real. And technically, it's still ongoing. Plague number 7. And the final one for this episode. I'm sure you know which one this is. If you're listening to this video, chances are you lived through it. COVID-19 shut down the entire world. Hospitals overflowed. Families said goodbye through glass screens. Depending on your estimates, 5 to 17 million people died globally. But numbers don't capture the isolation, the fear, the realization that history wasn't finished with us, that plagues weren't part of the ancient world. They can still affect us to this day and spread misinformation, miscommunication, misguidance, and worst of all, they can cause nations to split apart. Plagues are not myths. They don't care what you believe. They don't ask permission. They don't stay in the past. They move with us. They're waiting for us. They remind us that humanity is fragile and history will repeat itself. Stay tuned for later episodes. I will be doing a deep dive into these plagues and more. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.